Hello, guys. There was a little bit of a delay in my beginning of this stream. Um, I ended up changing locations, and so took a little bit longer than initially intended to get on. Hopefully, everyone is doing well this morning. Um, I've got Copernicus crafting over here, and I also noticed that Mappo got me those armor pieces in my mail because I've got mail right there and it says 6 unread messages. So that's going to be that suit of armor, I'm pretty sure. So I'll go check that out in a few minutes, and you guys can see what cool new things Copernicus can put on. All right, let's see here. Gonna finish this writ up first, and then I'll go check it out. So I'm going to have to go out to Enchanted Lands and do some harvesting here soon because we need a lot more ruthenium in the depot for making some jewelry. This character absolutely is going to have some jewelry made because, as mentioned previously, his jewelry is just horrible right now, really, and a lot of it's like level 8, level 9. Maybe not level 8 anymore. Maybe level 9 is the lowest. But at level 32 Swashbuckler, that is very, very low. Um, it's pretty painful. So definitely gonna have to go find some ruthenium here soon, and then of course I have to get another level before I can actually make that jewelry. Right now we have a couple of pieces available to use for some jewelry, and that would be great for my probably my earring slots because my earrings are the worst offenders, I think. Like this doesn't have. I mean, it's got 4 health, 4 power, 7 versus arcane, 15 versus elemental, and 15 versus noxious. That is not going to get me far. The other one has 5 health, 6 power, 23 versus arcane, and 7 versus noxious. Pretty rough stuff right there. Definitely got to get that knocked up a notch, you know? So I have one more pouncing attack, Apprentice 4 to make, and then this writ will be done. I'll go turn it in, pick up the next writ, and before I do that, I think even I'm going to stop by the mailbox. Maybe I do it afterward. Yeah, it might make more sense to go turn in the writ and then pick up the gear. The gear I have on isn't bad as far as the armor goes. It's primarily last tier's mastercrafted, and then of course the dwarven work boots. I went ahead and am planning to keep the dwarven work boots on at least for now because they're pretty good still, and not necessarily as good as mastercrafted would be at this level, but still reasonable. And I don't think that it's worth using the piece of face steel that would be required in order to upgrade them the amount that they would upgrade. So for now, I just want to get the rest of this armor on, and then also, like I said, I do need to go out and gather at Enchanted Lands and get that ruthenium if I possibly can, and of course just replenish the stores of everything a little bit. So I don't know if you're hearing that dog howling in the background there, but that is a red-bone coonhound, and she is very excited about life right now. So she can really get after it sometimes. It's my cousin's dog, so good times, good times. Alright, got that writ finished up. Moving on to the crafting area. And then, hopefully, I can remember to go to the mailbox and get the stuff out of there.
I grieve you.
Now, let's see. At this point, I'm at 72.5% through the level, and I have 5.2% vitality left. I'm not going to continue working on that right now because I'm so low on vitality. I don't really see a great deal of point to it right now. I could, a lot of times I'll continue crafting or adventuring with 0 vitality, but I don't really see the need to right now because I definitely need to go out and gather. And at this very moment, I'm going to check my mail and have a look at this lovely armor that has been made for me. So we click here. We click. If you've never done the mailboxes before, you definitely, may want to check into them. They're very handy, and they were a great way to send people things on this at this time period. So anyway, he has sent me these pieces for my hands. That's going to knock my mitigation up by 43. It's pretty good. Strength is going to improve. Everything's going to go up from the last set, as you might expect, but it's fairly significant, I would say. It's going to make a difference in how things go out there in the wilderness, So let's see with the shoulders. It's going to be about the same for anything that's going from last tier to this tier. It looks like he made me the face steel chainmail mantle. That's a direct upgrade from what I had previously, which is exactly what I'd asked for. Just the plain face steel. I didn't want the melodic or any of that. I just wanted the straight up face steel. Very interested in getting the strength on these pieces, which is awesome. Yeah, this is great. He imbued it to heal. That's an interesting choice, but that's cool. All right. I had previously, yeah, okay, that's right. The chest piece, yeah, has the heal. Looks like my last chest piece didn't actually have any imbuement on it. I probably didn't bother with that at the time, but my legs did, and and that heat damage increase is significant too. It's a 35-point heat damage increase, 5% of the time if I'm being attacked. Um, Theoretically, as a swashbuckler, you shouldn't be being attacked as much, as a scout. If you have a tank, then the tank should be the one taking most of the hits. But in the real world of EverQuest, if that's if that's a thing we can say, then in this world, I'll say um, the way it works is that sometimes I end up having to tank or, of course, solo. So I do end up getting hit more than one might initially assume. Scouts have a ton of ways to decrease their hate gain, but it's not. Again, it's very dependent on the situation. So now I'm going to come over here and sell some of these pieces that I no longer need. And hey, some bad airs while I'm at it. Who knew that we had bad airs we were carrying around? All right, and accumulation of plasmas. Those aren't doing me any good whatsoever. Now, this says a page that has been enchanted by some arcane magic. It seems to be made of a cloth type that you recognize. Huh. I don't know of anything that you can do with a smudged enchanted page, but you know what? I'll keep it around for a little while and see if I hear anything or if any of you guys know something that can be done with that. Go ahead and let me know. I feel like previously I've just treated them as vendor trash, and they probably are. But just in case, I'll hang on to them. All right, let's get rid of this steel stuff. And then we've still got a Vigilant Lord's Helm, Fragmented Carapace Brace, and Imbued Steel. Okay, so the Imbued Steel, yes, okay. I didn't see this on here, and I don't know why. Did I, maybe I had marked it for sale or not for sale at some point, so yep, there it is. All right. Imbued Steel. And then we've got a Fragmented Carapace Bracers and Vigilant Lord's Helm. So, Vigilant Lord's Helm is there. Let's look at it real quick before we dump it. Ah, how lovely, huh? How lovely. How about these bracers? What do they look like? Let's clear this, make him naked, and then check out those bracers. I mean, those are kind of neat. We can zoom in here. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they're cool enough to bother keeping in the wardrobe. But then again, maybe because I have some room. I'm gonna definitely sell that helmet. Not interested in that in the slightest. But you know what? Can always get rid of them later. So let's just add them to the wardrobe for now. I don't need the meager amount of money that they would sell for. So later on, if I want to remove them from the wardrobe, I can do that right there by right-clicking on it. For now, we'll leave them in there. Maybe I'll have some interest in deleting them later. For now, we can just hang on to them. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and save this set, and that way I won't end up flipping some other set and doing something silly. So, all right, good as is for the moment. And now I will just need to, at some point, I will need to replace my jewelry. But for now, should be doing a lot better just with these armor upgrades. So, I could go and give it a little test with something. But I think right now I'm going to just go start harvesting. You never know when I might get attacked out there anyway. And maybe I'll go out of my way to go after a fairy or something like that. I know there's some very mischievous fairies over there that are aggro still. So maybe I'll go try it out against one of those and see how that works. I think that I did attack one of those on this stream maybe a week ago, and so as a comparison basis. However, at that time, this character was only level 30. Now it's level 32, and some other things have changed since then too. So it's not going to be a direct comparison if I do that. Still, it may give us some idea of how much this has improved. At that time, I did pretty well against the fairy. I can't remember how low my health got during that fight. I don't remember. It may have been half health. It may not have been that low. I'm not sure, but certainly it went down pretty relatively easily. And so I don't know that me attacking it in my new gear is going to really demonstrate the difference. But I might do it anyway, just to see where we're at. What it does mean is that I'll have a lot better chance against heroics, and when I go to places like Varsoon's, I'll have a better shot than I previously did. Yesterday, when we were in Ruins Varsoon's, they definitely hit hard. Um, but anyhow, we did all right, all things considered. It wasn't great. We died a little bit, but that's to be expected. Anybody who goes along with me to anything can definitely expect to die a little bit. That's just the way we do. However, all things considered, we made it a good portion of the way through Varsoon's. I was able to get the brown research tome. I wasn't able to get the black research tome, but I think we could have. We just Dorkala had to go, and so we ended it there. I think we were near the Weave Master's room when we cut out last night. But we did take down the Weave Master. We took down the Alchemist. Um, and I think Luda was still with us when we went against the Alchemist, but he was gone by the time we went against the Weave Master there. I did pick up a quest that I ought to have updated when I was in North Qeynos. I've got a couple of things that I need to update in in Qeynos, and I just totally forgot to do it. So because I need to get the guy who knows about the fine silk. It's a very simple quest, and I should have gotten that done. Didn't do it. That's in I think North Qeynos. And then the other one that I need to do is in South Qeynos in the Mage Tower. I have to find a book. I cannot even remember which quest that is. Let me see if I can find it in my journal. Let's see. North Qeynos is Fine Silks. The other one is at the Mage Tower. I don't think it's going to be listed, the zone that it's in, because you're supposed to have to figure this out. That's my city writ. You know what? It may be the gates. It may be the gates of Cauldron Hollow. Yeah, that's it right there. So it says, I've encountered an old mage who's half mad, if not all. The mage, Arcus, has advised me to return to my city and seek out a library. Somewhere in there I shall find information related to a personal destiny within Nektulos Forest. And if you go over there to the Mage Tower, I can't think of which teleporter it is. I might remember when I get there, you never know. But it has a book that's pretty distinctly about Cauldron Hollow. Now, Cauldron Hollow is a zone that is right off of Neck Forest. It's an instance. And I think it's one that you have to, it's like Cove of Decay and Thundering Steps, where you have to have the dropped item in order to get into the zone. It's a cool little zone. You may be familiar with it if you've played on Live and you've played at the Halloween events. It's the same door, I believe, as you go in for some of those Halloween events. So, let's see here. We need to hop over to Neck Forest, and then we can go to Enchanted Lands. But anyway, Cauldron Hollow is a cool little zone. By the way, if you haven't been to Isle of Mara, this is the bell for Isle of Mara. Neck Docks, you can go there. I would say probably around level 50. I don't know, you may be able to pick up a few of the quests a little sooner and possibly as soon as 48. That's a possibility. I'm not sure. But that's how you get there when you want to get there. Now, we've got a little harvesting to do, and let's see if we can find one of those very mischievous maidens. At this point, it's a little low level for me, and I'm just gonna run in and just see what the gear does. I also have noticed that I failed to plug in my laptop, and so it's trying to run out of battery. I'm gonna have to plug that in after this fight. But definitely did better. I would say. It, let's see. Probably got down to 80% health. So, again, it's not a straight comparison because last time I did this, I was level 30, not level 32. Nonetheless, it's pretty clear that that I didn't get hurt very much during that. So I think the gear is improved everything a good bit. I don't know if it went any faster. I don't have ACT running or anything like that. But give me just a moment after I get this, or because I'm gonna have to plug this computer in. I'm gonna actually do it as soon as I start this last harvest. All right, simple enough. Back already. And I said last harvest, but no, failed to mine anything. So not last or even next to last, unfortunately, apparently. All right, now this is a treant, and I do need treants, but I don't need them that badly because that guy's a heroic. And even though I have new shiny gear, I'm not interested in taking a yellow triple up heroic by myself. That's that is a job for later Copernici, you know? Current Copernici is going to dodge out of that one. Ah, one thing I didn't do was put on my harvesting gear. So let's give that a shot. There we go. Now we'll harvest anything gathered and also anything mined 0.5 seconds faster than previously. At some point later on in the game's timeline, they make it to where you can use the items in your bags like this, and you would click it and you would use it, and then it would stay good for a few days. I want to say 3 days. I can't remember for sure. Some amount of days you would have it, and then you just have to go back every now and then and change that. You know, not change it, but use them again. So you could go and store them in your bank and not have to carry them around and have them actually equipped. Let me see here. Make sure that I'm not missing out on something, but yeah, it still isn't there. Okay. That's a white triple up heroic, and we're not going to play with him either. On live, it would be a different story, but on this server, nah, he can just, he can have that piece of wood over there. It's all his. So I'm all alone in the guild at the moment. Nobody else is hanging out with me. Sometimes, sometimes I will see Claw on at this time. Occasionally, Kelthia will pop in. Maybe Cruise Night, but a good portion of the folks are more afternoon for oriented, or evening even. This evening, speaking of evenings, normally I play at different times. And I never say like, "Hey, I'm going to be here at this time, that time, and the next time every day," because my schedule is variable. But I normally do have time in the evenings. But tonight, I'm going to be doing some Halloween things at around 5 my time. And so I'll definitely be busy at least for a couple of hours, maybe for longer. Not sure if I'll make it around this evening or not. I probably will at some point, but it may be pretty late. It's hard to say. I think at this point right now, I am far enough along in levels that I'm going to leave that area I just harvested alone for a while for people who are a little lower level to be able to harvest there. I saw there was another guy. I don't know what level he was, but he might need the easy harvests more than I do, so cleared him a round of it, I guess, and move on. Over here, these are mostly easy harvests, but you have some that are wasp territory in a big way. And most of these wasps in this area are not aggro. See, these guys are. So, something to be aware of if you're harvesting over in this part, right here, of Enchanted Lands, is that there are these nasty wasps who will certainly attack you if you wander near them. And it can be very surprising because you're in mid-harvest and you're in this area that you think is pretty non-aggro, and then all of a sudden you're getting hit and it's in the air, so you're like, oh, what's going on? Especially if you're zoomed in like to first person or something close to first person, you may not see it initially. One thing about Enchanted Lands, there are a lot of things to collect. You've got a bunch of pages, and then of course you have the normal question mark shinies, and they're just kind of all over the place. I don't know. There's a higher chance of getting some kind of collectible in Enchanted Lands than in the previous zones, Antonica or Thundering Steps or Neck Forest or Common Lands. You definitely have a higher rate of shiny things spawning. And that's because they have the regular collections and also the book collections. So the aforementioned hound is busy moving her bowl all over the tile floor over here. She's got to position it properly before she can consume the food, I think. Oh, there's a rare. Severed oak. Now, I don't think that I'm wanting the severed oak for anything on this character that I can think of, but some of the guild mates will definitely appreciate that piece of wood. They can make some stabs and things like that with it, and maybe, batons for some monks or something like that. Oh, look, the scarecrow guy over here has a quest. Last time I was over in this part of Enchanted Lands, I was still too low maybe for him to have his quest ready. But he certainly has it now, so I will see how my journal looks. I do have room for one more quest. Now the question is, do I actually want to start on these quests yet when I haven't finished Thundering Steps or Neck Forest and I still have some leftovers from like Common Lands hanging around? I don't know. Is that a good idea? Probably not yet. I should probably not do that yet. Now there is an example of a treant that is more appropriate. No heroic tag. So go ahead and grab this one while we're in the area. I do like to take on the treants whenever I see them wandering around because they're harder to find than some of the other Luan Legend pieces. Mostly because you don't see treants as often as you do, say, goblins, for instance. There's just hordes of goblins to kill in Runii, for instance. But they're all over the place. It's not just there. There's even some goblins in Ruins of Varsoon. So, all throughout the game, you get things like goblins. Not so much on the treants. Same goes for the centaurs. You mostly see the centaurs in Thundering Steppes. There's a lot of them. They're not aggro. There's no zone for them or anything like that. That's just like an instance. So you end up, having a little more trouble getting the lore and legend quests done for the creatures that you don't have very many of. Speaking of that kind of thing, I haven't even claimed my what is it called there? It's under character development. You go to Swashbuckler training, and then you have these options for master strikes. I haven't chosen any of those yet. I probably should, but it's just not something that I've gotten around to doing. Gnolls, skeletons, and zombies are all pretty good. The gnolls you don't run into as much over the entirety of the game up to this point. So skeletons or zombies would probably be the best. There are a lot of ghosts as well. but I haven't yet been going after any of these specifically, so I just kind of am waiting to see what I want to choose later on. None of them, like I said, are causing me particular difficulties that I want to get a master strike for. Okay. My cousin was getting some ice out of her freezer there, and so it was exceedingly loud. So I was like, wait a minute before I start talking again. But moving on, we've got the level 26 master strikes. There's centaurs, giants, orcs, and treants. Out of those, there certainly are still a lot of orcs in the game, but it currently goes up all the way through Kingdom of Sky, and of course you've got the New Fallen Dynasty stuff to consider. I'm not sure what the best option for this server would be on that. Not centaurs, obviously, and not treants, because as mentioned, the treants are not that common. And, as a whole over the game as we have it right now on this server. The next one down is Bixby, which will come into play, I think, in December. They're going to release Echoes of Favor, and that's going to open up all that Bixby stuff. Fairies occur throughout, but not like a lot. Goblins, there are lots of goblins in the game, at every tier. And then golems. Golem is rarer, I would say, but again, occurs throughout the game. So anyway, there's some options for master strikes, and I haven't decided what I want to do there. That's also true for my alternate advancement. I went down the intelligence line and spotted intelligence doing absolutely nothing for a swashbuckler. Like, there's zero benefit for a swashbuckler to get intelligence. It's kind of unfortunate in some ways. But here we are. The intelligence boosts the damage of your spells. And Swashbuckler does not have any spells at all. They only have combat arts. So that's not a particularly helpful thing for a Swashbuckler. But everything else in the intelligence line is pretty dang good. So I don't know if I had a look at that. Maybe I can have a look at it if I can click buttons good. But this is another kind of stealth, which having more stealth is a good thing because various reasons. But there's some spells require you to be stealthed in order to use them. It also does some damage, and it only works if you have a dagger equipped. That's the downfall of it. I do happen to have a dagger equipped, so that's fine, but it forces you to use a dagger in order to use that spell. which that's unfortunate. Got a wasp on me. I think I will outrun that sucker. I'm not interested in having that fight. I do want to kill this sapling, though, because it's a treant. And as mentioned, I do love a treant. Now, I ran the impaler wasp off, so I'll stop and fight the sapling. The weaponsmith. Never hurts to have a weaponsmith book. I don't know if we have any weaponsmiths at this level in the guild yet. I kind of think we don't, but I also think that Gergrim is working on a weaponsmith. So, a matter of time before we will be needing that book. The thing is with my guildmates, I just kind of assume that if we don't have something yet, we probably will soon, because they tend to be crafters as well as adventurers just overall. I'll leave those for folks who are a little lower level. Now there's a named wasp that spawns over here, and he's nasty. Cannot remember his name, but maybe I'll find out. Who knows? Let's see. Let's check the window and see if he's up. He's not up right now, but yeah, I can't recall what his name is. Let me check the map. Burn Spear, yeah. So Burn Spear is incredibly nasty, especially when you are very low level and you're harvesting out here. I think on this character, I'm high enough level and have high enough mitigation that I'd be able to take a hit and still escape. But he's not a fun guy. I don't recommend hanging out with him. And if you're a low level character and you're harvesting in this area, be aware he hangs out on that ridge over there a lot of times, and he flies high up, and then you just assume that he's a normal, innocent, kind wasp. That ain't him, all right? So watch out. I haven't gotten any ruthenium yet, but that's not to be, that's not unexpected. Let's see if I've gotten. I got I've got a face deal while I've been out here, and I got a piece of severed wood, and I think that's all the rares I've gotten while harvesting out here right now. I'll leave that alone. Let the wasps have that bin, Some things, that's just the way it's got to be. But Impaler Wasp is probably on me. No, it is. Yeah. Okay. This is another safe little area over here to harvest. Over by this hut. Hopefully I outran that. Yeah. Okay. Good. But you can, at a low level, you can get over here and do some harvesting near this little building here safely. So these bears are not aggro, and nothing's ever over right around this hut that's dangerous. So if you the dangerous part would be getting over here, but there's actually a fairly safe path to take to make it over here. So nice, an enchanted maple leaf that I don't have yet. If you come this way, there are these bats in the air. And again, they can be difficult to notice if you're not paying a lot of attention as you're going along harvesting, minding your own business. So be aware, these guys fly up here near the treetops so as to confuse you when you're trying to peacefully harvest. Gotta get my fishing up. I think it's still low. Let's see where we're at on the fishing. Oops, there it is. All right, so my fishing is not that low. It's 180 out of 185. I thought it was worse than that, but apparently I've done all right at getting that up, so that's good. The hound is alerting me to her presence once more. This area over here is another somewhat decent area to harvest, but the trouble is those bats. They can wander up on you while you're not paying attention, while you have your back to them. And if you're low level, they can definitely sneak up and ambush you. It's not even an ambush. It's just you weren't paying attention, and here we are eating your face. Our guild provisioner will be very pleased about the influx of provisioner raws. Looks like I'm going to have to go get some real life things done here in a few minutes. So I'll finish this little area over here, and then I guess I will call the hall. Failed to get any ruthenium this time around, but that's okay. There's always next time, and if nothing else, I can buy it on the broker if I need to. I don't know what the current prices are on ruthenium. In fact, I'll do that before I go to. So, all right, I'll come over to a safer area, and then I will call out to the city, which is right in front of the guild house, and then pop in there, and actually not in there, in the trade skill instance nearby, so that I can access the broker and see what the ruthenium prices are for just a ruthenium cluster right now. Because that is what I will ideally want to make my my jewelry out of. It should be much better than what I have right now. So, ruthenium hoop, I think, is the earring in question. And in fact, I've got probably half a level to get before I can make that. So it's not too bad. The question is how to get the ruthenium in order to do that. So let's see here what we've got. Ruthenium cluster. All right. Cheapest ruthenium is in Castleview Hamlet with Lyanna. All right. Well, that seems like a very good way to get a little bit of ruthenium. Lyanah. Lyanna. Just like that. I'm going to tap that in guild because nobody's in guild right now. And that'll be a nice way to remember it. We're going to Castleview Hamlet. We're going to grab those ruthenium real quick if possible. Unless somebody beats me to it. Because 89 gold is an exceptional price to pay, and there are two of them. So, this seems like I better jump on it while it's still there. I was expecting a bare minimum of 1 platinum, and I saw that there was another person on there that did have them for 1 platinum. So, that's, to me, 1 platinum for a ruthenium is very reasonable. 89 gold for a ruthenium is exceptional, so it will be well worth the run. It's like 20 gold in savings, so go to visit Lyanna. There it is. And we'll see if she paid her rent. She did pay her rent. That's great. Now to find the salesman crate in question. Oh, there it is right there. So we're going to buy both of those. And I feel like we did well there. You know what? While I'm there, let's just look and see what she has. If you need any of these things, Lyanna's house at Castleview Hamlet has 2 face steel clusters, 1 glimmering flower, 7 glimmering stone, 2 rough opal, and 1 zeganite cluster. Wow. That's kind of crazy. You know what? I can't pass that up. I'm going to grab that zeganite cluster while I'm here too. Not too shabby. These are very good prices, guys. So excellent. All right, now I'm out of here, and I'm going to be taking a bit of a break. I won't be gone too terribly long. Maybe like 45 minutes before I'll make it back. As usual, it was a pleasure streaming with you all, and I will be back later. If you haven't followed me yet, be sure to follow me and turn on notifications so you can see when I'm streaming again. I'm going to take off for now. Have fun while I'm gone. Bye bye.